51 over here. I hope you're having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. Guys, 5 rounds to go in our second season of our F1 2019 career mode. We are at the Sochi Autodrome for the Russian Grand Prix. Heading towards the performance shot, guys. We are at a massive high. We've got the momentum on our side with the previous 2 Grand Prix, the Italian Grand Prix and the Singapore Grand Prix, taking the win for Rich Energy Haas Racing. And at this stage, the championship is in our favor, but there's still a lot that can happen in these final 5 races. Looking at the performance shot, guys, it's Red Bull still leading the way with Racing Point now being the second quickest car. Us in Rich Energy Haas Racing 3rd, Williams 4th, Mercedes AMG Petronas Racing 5th, Ferrari 6th, Renault 7th, McLaren 8th, Alfa Romeo 9th, and Toro Rosso in 10th. Guys, like I said, there's still so much that can happen in this championship. You can never discount any car and any championship contender on this game. With that being said, let's head straight to qualifying.
Welcome back to Sochi. We're about to be joining the action down in the pit lane as the cars get ready to embark on their qualifying runs. It always looked like the kind of track that asks an awful lot of the rear tyres, such as the frequency of low-speed exits.
No matter how good a driver is at managing their throttle application to limit rear slip, they can't always overcome a car that's inherently bad at looking after its rear tyres. Here we have a lot of low-speed corner exits, which means a whole load of energy, heat and tyre wear.
Jumping straight to the end of qualifying, guys, an easy Q1 that we got through. We are in 5th place. Roman Grosjean was actually in 12th, and the top 5 are separated by less than 1/10, guys. So as you guys can see, this weekend here in Russia is going to be an absolute fist fight between Haas, Red Bull, Racing Point and Ferrari. Mercedes have fallen away recently, guys, with Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas just can't get those cars where they're supposed to get them. As you guys see, I went for a second run in Q2 on the mediums to see if I can qualify on the mediums to have a more aggressive strategy come the race, but the mediums are just too slow here around Russia, so it was a good attempt, but still not really worth it. But in any case, so guys, one thing that I have to say is the 2 Racing Point cars were stupidly fast this weekend. Keep your eyes on those 2 Pink Panthers because they are going to be cars that have to be kept an eye on. And look, the good news for me is neither one of them, neither Sergio Perez or Lucas Weber, the 2 Racing Point drivers, are within the championship. So they can take points away from my championship rival Max Verstappen. But in the same breath, if I have a bad race and Verstappen has a good race, they're going to take points away from me. So it's really touch and go.
Checks complete. All personnel be aware we have a car leaving.
Thank you, Jeff. It's a really touch and go at this stage of the season, and I really have to drive very smart and very tactically for the rest of the season. Now, guys, as you guys see, heading to the end of our final lap in Q2, we come across the line to get another P5, but almost 3/10 behind. Look who's up top, the 2 Racing Point cars and the 2 Red Bulls. I'm almost 3/10 behind Lucas Weber, who at this stage topped Q2, but yeah, guys, like I said, this is really going to have to be crunch time for me. This race included, we've got 5 races to go for the rest of the season. Wait, let's wait. Russia, Japan, Mexico, USA, Brazil, Abu Dhabi. Okay, so it's 6 races. After Russia, it's going to be 5 races. So we've got 6 races left.
1:30.8.
Jeff, can you please keep quiet now? Thank you. Sorry, guys. This engineer just talks way too much. But guys, you guys see we're heading to the end of Q3.
All set. Everyone clear? Car to track.
Oh yeah, guys, and don't forget to drop that like down below. It is always highly appreciated. Guys, at this stage of a YouTuber's, I want to say, career, we appreciate likes more than subscribers at this stage, so please don't hesitate. It's only going to take you 2 seconds. Drop a like down below. As guys, let's go around this beautiful Sochi Autodrome, one of my favorite tracks on the F1 calendar. It is just a beautiful track to drive. Going down this almost never-ending home straight with a little kink in front. Now heading into T2, guys. It's a very quick right-left. It's not really a chicane, but some people call it a chicane. Very quick left-right. Then this flat-out 4th corner, which is a hairpin. beautiful. Don't even think about lifting. Then you go into this next, the 5th corner. It's a 90-degree right-hander. Get the car through, down to 30 quickly just to get the car to turn in, and short shift up into 4 to get the oversteer counted. Into another right-hander, mount the curb on the inside and the outside. This next corner, it's a double right-hander with the second part of the double right-hander being a kink. You have to take the kink very aggressively, just like I did there. Mount the curb on the inside and the outside into a double left-hander. Now, as you guys see, it's like a double twist. Sorry for skipping a little bit through the lap there, guys. The replay just jumped a bit, so it was a little bit wonky to use, so I had to fast forward a bit. Now heading into the final sector, guys, into this very tight final crested chicane. Go very slow through the first part, fast to the second part, and now we head into the final 2 corners of the tracks. It's two 90-degree right-handers through the first one, and now through the second one, and we are going to end up in P.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Weber, Perez and Sebastian Vettel. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix. Welcome one and all to the Russian Grand Prix. We're just a stone's throw from the Georgian border here at Sochi as we get ready to begin the race that served up an absolute cracker back in 2015. A last lap collision between Kimi Raikkonen and Valtteri Bottas sparked controversy in that race, so let's hope the racing is just as tight today. Situated just 3 miles from the Georgian border, the 3.6 miles Sochi Autodrome has 2 notable overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and then turn 13. 18 corners in total here, 12 to the right and 6 to the left, and it's an average lap speed of around 130 miles per hour. A warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who's beside me in the commentary box today. Let's start with the new Alfa Romeo driver. They've had just 1 retirement in the last 5 races. What do you think that says about the reliability of their car?
It's a good statistic for sure, as it demonstrates not only mechanical reliability, but consistency from both drivers as well. These are 2 of the first boxes you have to tick for any successful season.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Great work from Lucas Weber yesterday sees him start from pole, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, O'Connor, Lewis Hamilton and Leclerc, Norris, Russell, Grosjean and Kimi Raikkonen, Magnussen, Stroll, Valtteri Bottas and Ricciardo. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Kvyat, Albon, Max Verstappen and Pierre Gasly. Giovinazzi and Devon Butler starts from the back of the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
You qualified higher than we were expecting, so see if you can keep this position in the race.
Jeff, we're not just gonna keep the position, we're gonna go for a little bit more. Guys, all that's left to say is jam with me on the formation lap, yeah. Guys, are you ready for the Russian Grand Prix? It is clear that the Racing Point cars are the cars to beat. 5 red lights, and it's go, go, go for the Russian Grand Prix. The 2 Racing Points get an absolutely stonking start off the line as I go side by side with the Red Bull of Sebastian Vettel. We've got a good engine package at the rear of this horse, but the Red Bulls are just as fast. So you guys see it's the 2 Racing Points joggling for position heading into the second corner. Me and Vettel are also going for it. I go around the outside of Vettel. I had the inside for that little kink after the second corner. And now Lucas Weber has lost the lead to his teammate Sergio Perez. So these 2 Racing Points are going to be fighting hammer and tong for the victory here today. It is very clear that they have got the pace over everybody else. And guys, my championship rival, as you guys saw in the beginning of with the grid was given to us by Crofty, that Max Verstappen is starting from P17 on the grid thanks to penalties. I think it was a gearbox penalty maybe, but we all know that Max knows how to get pace out of a car, so he will definitely be making his way up through the field. But he has a terrible run into the first few corners as he is now down to P17. And well, where he started, he's still in P17, and he lost positions to Pierre Gasly and to the Renault of of Daniel Ricciardo. So Max has got a very big uphill battle ahead of him. So you guys see, we jump back to the leaders of the race, including myself. This is Sebastian Vettel right behind me. So I took P3 from him, and actually Sergio Perez took P2 from Lucas Weber. So Vettel and Weber were the 2 losers on the front 2 rows when it came to the start. But guys, I have to be honest. Almost immediately, the 4 of us started pulling away from the rest of the grid. These top 4 cars had such good pace, and guys, I actually sticked with the 2 Racing Points very good. So I knew I needed to wait for Lucas Weber to try and mount a move on Perez, and when they held each other up, I needed to try and get them both in one shot. But at the same time, I had to worry about Sebastian Vettel right behind me, who still hasn't won a race this season back with his old beautiful team in the name of Red Bull. So Vettel is really looking for a momentum boost. Vettel is looking to get something done this season, and as you guys see, heading to the final 2 corners, I'm right on the back of Lucas Weber. But guys, look at the straight line speed of that Racing Point. I'm in rich mix and overtake mode on my fuel and ERAs, and he is still pulling away from me. So getting a move done here, I will definitely need the assistance of DRS, but he's gonna have the assistance of DRS on his teammate. So this is really going to be a very, very hard race for us to win. But guys, the momentum, like I said in the beginning of the episode, is on our side, thanks to us winning the previous 2 Grand Prix in Italy and Singapore. As you guys see now, heading on to the beginning of lap 3, DRS has been activated and Lucas Weber tries to go around the outside. He will have the inside for this very long and flat out hairpin. Even if you are side by side, it is still flat out. But Sergio just says, I'm the elder one in the team, my boy. You're gonna have to wait a bit. And I can guarantee you guys that Lucas is not appreciating this. He had the pace in qualifying the whole weekend. Even in practice, he topped Sergio Perez in every practice session. So Weber is the one that puts in the most hard work, and now Perez is just feasting on the lead of the Grand Prix. But as you guys see, Perez is not able to get away from Weber, and with him and Weber fighting the whole time, it's keeping me and Vettel in the fight. As you guys see, we are busy pulling away from Vettel slowly but surely, but every time these guys break into the corner and I catch up to them, Vettel catches back up to me. So as you guys see here now, I'm not sure which lap it is, but this is a beautiful camera angle heading through the first little kink. It's basically the first corner, but it's flat out. Here goes Lucas Weber for a move on the inside. This time Perez will have now once again the inside for the hairpin. And as you guys see, I'm right there with them. I had an immensely good run through the first 2 corners. I had beautiful momentum. Okay, well, the second and third corner, but in any case. And as you guys see, I get Lucas Weber, but Perez just knows where to place that bloomin' Racing Point car. And now he has given us the dummy. We have fallen for the dummy, and now me and Lucas Weber are fighting away, and this is just giving Perez the chance to extend his gap. This is exactly what we didn't need, guys, because if I can take a win here in Russia with Verstappen being so far down the grid, this can really give us such a good comfort zone for the rest of this championship. But now Weber and actually just myself being too greedy have maybe cost ourselves a race win here in Russia. As you guys see, I open up DRS, and already Perez has pulled out more than a second on Weber and myself, because Weber does not have DRS on Perez, and that's a little bit of a jolt there from Weber's side. So you guys see, he makes contact heading into the corner as well, but that is us now up into P2, and let's hope that we can keep up with Sergio Perez and maybe, just maybe, try and mount a move later on. But guys, that is not what I hoped for, is not what happened, because look who's pressurizing me from behind, And look who is pulling away ahead of me. Perez is pulling away, and Weber, my ex-Formula 2 teammate, is giving me such an uphill battle that... don't become Butler, Weber, please. Oh, guys, I was already a little bit cheesed off. As you guys see the previous little part of the video where I overtook him, where he made contact, I was already a bit cheesed off. So, guys, the battle you guys have actually all been waiting for, Lucas Weber versus Turbocharged 51, the two former F2 teammates, is busy happening right in front of your eyes. And we've even got a 4-time world champion right behind us in the form of Sebastian Vettel, also giving us an uphill battle. As you guys see, I finally get my second place back from Weber, not from Perez, from Weber. But all this battling is doing is giving Perez the chance to get out in front. And guys, that is what I made the decision. The only way I'm gonna have any chance of catching back up to Sergio Perez was if I went for the undercut. Because guys, grip here around Russia is so critical. This is a low wear track, meaning the tires last long. But also when the tires eventually go off, they go off and then there's no grip. So strapping on new tires can really give you such a strong undercut. And as you guys see, when I came into the pit lane and took DRS away from Weber, that is when the 4-time world champion Sebastian Vettel pounced and he said, "Oh, hello, Weber. My boy, you still need some experience. It's only your second season in Formula 1. I've been here for a fair time longer than you. It's time to sit down, my boy. It's time to sit down." But then Weber said the next lap, "Oh, hell no. My car is the faster car this weekend. Sit down, Sebastian. Sit down." As these two are... oh, man, I'm such a weird, cringy dude. But in any case, as these two are battling hammer and tong, Sergio Perez is just extending his gap further out in front. But guys, what's good for me is the more they battle, the more time they lose. I am in clean, fresh air, busy pushing like an absolute stabbed rat. I'm throwing the kitchen sink at the track with my car, and we are really pushing. And as you guys see, these two battling, I'm not gonna give it any little bit of a good word. They lost a stupid amount of time. As Vettel is into the pit lane now, Weber is into the pit lane, and they have strapped on their tires. Weber does come out once again ahead of Sebastian Vettel, but as you guys will see now, I have actually done myself a treat. I am now going to take back my net P2, and I'm gonna have a really nice gap to Lucas Weber and Sebastian Vettel, so they can keep fighting, and now I can set my sights on Sergio Perez. So my main thing is I just needed to get out of that 1 second gap, which I did within that lap. And now this is the pit stop we have to look at, guys. Sergio Perez is spitting for Racing Point. And yeah, guys, look, I've got a soft spot for Checo. I really have a soft spot for Checo. But Checo, oh, when it's for a race win, obviously I'm gonna be more for myself and against him. But between him, Weber, and Vettel, who was hounding me this entire race, it was just so frustrating to absolutely milk this horse and then have this happen, guys. As we round the first corner, look where Sergio Perez is. The clean air he had on those worn soft tires was enough to be... Look, I made the gap much smaller. When I came into the pit lane, the gap between myself and Perez was about 7 seconds. When I came out of the pit lane, it was about 1.2. So I took out a lot of time, but it was just not enough. So guys, running to the top 10, Sergio Perez is leading the way from myself in P2. Lucas Weber and Sebastian Vettel are fighting away for P4 in this race. And we actually need to have a look and see where Max Verstappen finds himself. Because remember, guys, he is still my championship rival. None of the three guys battling with me at the front is my championship rivals. Lando Norris is in P5 with Lewis Hamilton P6. George Russell in the second Williams car is P7. Actually, my teammate Roman Grosjean is in P8. Ahead of Kevin Magnussen in P9, and guys, there is the red Ferrari. I think that might be Max. That is Max Verstappen. So he has gotten himself into the points, but he has not 1 point compared to 18 points. Yeah, that's gonna be a big knock for Max. And as you guys see here now, this is Lewis Hamilton tucked up right underneath the gearbox of the Williams of Lando Norris. And guys, I got the word from Jeff over the radio that Lando had some sort of mechanical issue and he was going to be slow. So this was an absolutely easy pass for Lewis Hamilton. And from this point on further, Lando Norris just fell like an absolute stone in water. There was nothing that he could do. So you guys see, here comes my teammate Roman Grosjean. He is really fast. I missed the overtake that Russell made on Lando, but that is also my teammate now. So that's P5, P6. That's my teammate now up into P7. So this will be a good solid amount of points for Haas if my teammate can remain there. Now we jump into the POV of Kevin Magnussen, who is now busy fighting with Lando Norris. And now the Ferrari of Max Verstappen and the second Red Bull of Pierre Gasly, where the Red Bulls also had very good pace this weekend here around Russia, have caught up to the back of this battle. And now Kevin Magnussen has put in a mobile chicane in front of the Ferrari and the Red Bull in the form of Lando Norris in the Williams. So this is a very smart play from Kevin Magnussen. Guys, Renault have really had just an atrocious season thus far, so they really need a solid, good amount of points. And at this stage, K-Mag is really looking at giving them that. Daniel Ricciardo is nowhere to be seen. So this really is a strong drive from K-Mag. And you guys even saw, like, back at Singapore, K-Mag did everything to get points there. He even stayed out a lap longer on his intermediate tires just to try and eke out a little bit of pace. K-Mag is really trying hard for that Renault team, so GG's K-Mag. And now we jump back to the battle for the final podium position between Lucas Weber and Sebastian Vettel. Guys, heading through the flat out hairpin. Weber on the outside. He will have the inside for the next corner. Vettel will be on the outside, but Vettel will have the drive. But Weber is just too confident on the brakes, and he keeps that racing point ahead of the Red Bull of Vettel. As we quickly rewind a little bit back, guys, this is now Max Verstappen, who has caught up to the rear end of K-Mag. The Renault is not yet at the pace of the Ferrari, even though the Ferrari is like the 5th or 6th best car on the performance chart. Guys, the top 6 teams are stupidly close together. So really, like I said, since Austria, any of those 12 cars in the top 6 teams can literally, if they get to the lead, they can win a Grand Prix with the utmost amount of ease. If they've got clean air, they can build a gap. So that is how close this second season is, guys. We've got 6 teams battling away for points. And for those of you guys that don't know, only the top 10 get points. 6 teams, 2 cars per team, that means 12 cars. So you've got 12 cars battling hammer and tong from first place all the way down to 12th. That gives you guys an idea of why the videos have recently been so long, because there's battling all up and down the field, which I want to give you guys so you guys can enjoy action-packed videos. Yeah! But in any case, guys, heading back to the battle between Kevin Magnussen, Max Verstappen, and Pierre Gasly. Max Verstappen finally gets a beautiful run coming out of the final corner, now heading into the second corner with DRS. But Magnussen is actually driving like myself, and he is defending with absolutely everything he's got. But to no avail, finally the Ferrari, and unfortunately the move I missed, the Red Bull of Pierre Gasly got past him, and now he's got Valtteri Bottas for company as well. And guys, now I was actually glad that this happened, guys, because not only at this stage of the Grand Prix is this contact between Max and Gasly. Oh my goodness! And now even Magnussen is back right behind these guys. What is going to happen as they head through the hairpin into the next corner? Ooh, it's Gasly leading the way from Verstappen, and then Magnussen and Bottas. But guys, what I was busy saying is, I was so glad that Gasly started fighting with Max, because not only was I going to outscore Max, Haas was going to outscore Ferrari, because my teammate is ahead of these two. And the more they battled, the more my teammate was able to get away. So once again, just like the first season, Roman Grosjean is having a solid drive here at Russia. His AI clearly loves the circuit. And now Max and Pierre are battling fiercely still. Ferrari v Red Bull, and at the front of the grid, it is a Red Bull v a Racing Point, which we never thought we'd ever see happen. But that is the beauty of games, and that is why gaming is one of the biggest growing phenomenons in the world. Well, phenomenons, one of the biggest growing... What do you call it actually? Can you call it a phenomenon, now that I think about it? You know what? Let's go with it. Even though there's people that's going to be shouting in the comments at me with a grammar check, gaming, in my opinion, is the biggest growing phenomenon in the world. Oh, guys, luckily you guys most of the time think I'm funny, so hopefully you thought that I was funny there. As these two, the two youngsters in Formula 1, well, two of the youngsters in Formula 1 are battling hammer and tong. It's already been half a lap, but at this stage, Pierre Gasly is getting the better of Max Verstappen. I am absolutely sure that Max Verstappen is absolutely screaming inside that cockpit, because, guys, this is for P8 on the grid. This is only for a measly 4 points. But if Max finishes 9th, it's only 2 points. There goes Max heading into the final sector. He takes the position back. But guys, that Red Bull is just so good in the corners. As now we head on to a few, I think it is actually the next lap, but at exactly the same spot. It's as if Pierre Gasly is tempting Verstappen, and he passes him in exactly the same manner that Max actually passed him. So, guys, I know actually from real life radio experience that on TV that Max can really get hot-headed sometimes, especially when he's stuck behind another car. So I can guarantee you guys, inside that Ferrari cockpit, Max is absolutely fuming with anger because he cannot get past this Red Bull. And guys, to be quite honest, we are starting the final lap of the Grand Prix. Max Verstappen is still battling away for everything he's got. It's been a terrible day in the office for Ferrari. It's not been too bad for Red Bull because Vettel is fighting at the front. But it has been a brilliant day for Rich Energy Haas Racing as well as for Racing Point, the two Pink Panthers. Guys, when I talk about the Pink Panthers, you need to know that I'm talking about Sergio Perez and Lucas Weber in those two Pink Racing Point cars. And as you guys see, come to the end of the race, there was absolutely bugger all I could do about Sergio Perez. And even Lucas Weber and Vettel caught up to me thanks to me going for such an early pit stop, going for an undercut. My tires was starting to die off a bit. As excuse the jump there, as you guys see the replay did jump a bit there, so I apologize for that. Sometimes, guys, I can't avoid that. I still have to put in the replay. But guys, let's quickly see here. Can Verstappen make a move on Pierre Gasly? I don't think he's going to be able to. Gasly, you diamond of a person! We take P2! Where's Verstappen gonna end? Yeah, baby, P2 in Russia!
And an incredible win for Racing Point. A brilliant performance. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Racing Point's performance today has shown that they can be competitive with the veterans of the sport. They're making their way out to the podium now as we speak, and the reaction from the crowd must be incredibly uplifting for them. And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. O'Connor increases their championship lead. Now let's discuss, Ant, who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Well, you've put me in a bit of a tight spot today, but I think I'll go for Pierre Gasly. He kept a cool head under pressure and made the most of some difficult circumstances.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The current championship leaders still hold top spot, but that gap is getting smaller. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
Guys, only 2 championship points was achieved by Max Verstappen, and we took home a full 18 points. Guys, we have really got a pillow now, a very soft cushion for the rest of the championship. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to get complacent. I've done that in the past and I have lost championships that way. We can't get complacent. We can't afford that. But guys, what a race. And one thing that I'm really stressed about that I talked about earlier in the episode, Racing Point have arrived and they are here to steal points. A lot of them.
Great work this weekend. It was fantastic to see you up on that podium.
Thanks, Emma. Guys, it is time to finally renegotiate our contract, which we had a little bit of a fumble with the previous time we did it.
They didn't like those terms. Let's try again.
The previous time we negotiated for a contract, we overstepped our limit and we went back to the basic contract we had. But guys, this time I'm not gonna lie, we got a juicy contract for ourselves, as you guys will see right now.
Okay, that proposal looks good. It seems all parties are happy with the deal, so it'll commence at the next race weekend.
Very sweet indeed. Guys, but that has been this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. 5 races to go and the championship is heating up by the episode. Guys, if you like what you've seen today, please drop a like down below. It's only going to take you 2 seconds. If you really like what you've seen today and you're not yet part of the family, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to ding the bell to never miss a future Turbo Fox Races episode. And finally, share this video with your friends to get the channel growing. I'm sure you guys would like to see it as well as the channel pops off. We'll see you next time in Japan. Cheers!